Well, it's good, YouTube, man. You already know what it is. It's your boy, DRXCO. And you already know what I'm doing. I'm back at work, getting this money. It is May 7th, May 8th, I think. Because, you know, working overnight. Day shifts over at 12, so. But anyway, yeah. I just haven't talked to you guys. I've been trying to experiment with different sorts of content, been making a retail job content, of course the overnight stocking content, and some sprinkling in some gaming and commentary content. I think going forward I want to start to incorporate that sort of style of content as well. So we're gonna be experimenting with different styles of content, seeing what you guys are rocking with. Though you already know, the work overnight stocking content ain't going nowhere. And first topic of conversation, I'm just gonna be talking to you guys. First topic of conversation I want to address is just hearing from you guys. First of all, how y'all doing? And then second of all, you know, what would y'all like to see on the channel? Because I'm trying to get a little bit better with YouTube. I've been experimenting with the shorts, trying to, you know, like maybe put out some shorts that are like relatable, see what people are rocking with. You know, I think a lot of y'all like the idea of me doing like the relatable work content. But you know, you gotta evolve sometimes with YouTube if you want to get any sort of measure of success, you know. So I just want to see what you guys like, what you guys are rocking with. You want me to get more? Because, you know, I can, like I said before, the overnight stocking content ain't going nowhere. I do want to grow with you, and I want to grow the channel to something that's more, you know, stuff that I like to kind of talk about. Like, I really do want to get into gaming and that entire world, but I also want to do some just real shit, you know, talking about real stuff. You know, maybe like commentary style of, you know, maybe like why learn, or if you guys know, like Neat on the Rocks, just talking about just different sort of things while doing stuff that I love. So that could be while playing rooftops and alleys, while playing, I'm not gonna do COD because I don't want to be a biter. I want to start, you know, something that's new. So it's different than, you know, gaming, but maybe some of you guys like ASMR while somebody's talking to you or whatnot about, I don't know, world affairs, tariffs, gaming, something like that. So maybe like a overnight stocking and then talking about, I don't know, video games, GTA 6. I have a lot of thoughts on GTA 6, not just in terms of the gaming aspect, but what it means for like the rest of the industry of gaming, what it means for the foreseeable future, especially people like me, like going to work and then you got a game you want to play. What kind of games? What games are going to be the games that you're going to be going to and having the most sort of leisure time with? For me, it'll definitely be GTA 6. For me, it'll be Kingdom Hearts. More games like that in that genre. It used to be, you know, other video games like Valorant back when I was starting out, but now those games are so like boring to me now. So I'm trying to find games to play and also make content around in the documentary or commentary, I guess, style of content creation. So just let me know what you guys are rocking with. Any feedback is appreciated. Like I said, the overnight stocking content, the ASMR content, or even if it was, you know, like the ASMR content. Do you want me to get more into different mediums of that, you know, ASMR eating or mukbangs, shit like that? You know, I'm down to make content. I just really like making videos and meeting people and talking to people. So you guys let me know what you guys are rocking with. What do you see other people on YouTube are rocking with? Because it's hard to research sort of niches. I really don't know what my niche is. One day I might do something completely different with the channel that's unforeseeable, but you know, at least I'll still be here. At least you know, I'm trying to make content to build an audience and provide value. So if you guys just want to hear me talk about something, talk about me and my life struggles, and I'm trying to navigate stuff talk more about my job, like whatever it is. Just let me know what you guys would like to see. Because, you know, vlogs and day in the lives are really nice and fun to make, you know, very fun to make actually, but I want to do something different. If you guys like that, then tell me you like that and I'll do it. Other than that, I don't know. I've just been chilling, working. I canceled my gym membership. I got some dip bars. More about that in a little bit, but you know, I canceled my gym membership. Got some dip bars. It's getting nice. It's basically almost the summer after spring, so there's gonna be a lot of opportunities to work outside, work out outside, I should say. Get money that way. You know, there's a lot of it's getting nice out, like I said. So, you know, the incentive to be outside is a lot more for me. So, cancel my membership. I got some dip bars. I'm gonna be doing calisthenics outside. Like I said before, I wanted to say something about that. I'm gonna be working on my other channel. I don't have it set up yet, but I'm gonna be doing like basically working out outside, talking, the vlog style of content, but it's gonna include music, and it's gonna be like the main focus, what I really wanted to be doing with YouTube. Of course, this channel is never going anywhere, but that I have a whole like sort of plan for. And this kind of never was gonna be like the main channel, but it kind of is the main channel now because, you know, I have such a good audience and a lot of, you know, people that I can recognize from the comment section and the likes, and I can see the subscribers and stuff. So I appreciate you guys. You know, I gotta get a list. I gotta look at the list so I can start shouting you guys out. And you know, we're almost at 1,000 subs, so that's obviously gonna be exciting. A lot of stuff in the works, but yes, I do have another channel that I'm working on. It's gonna be a lot of just fitness and music, EDM, basically like EDM music playlists, working out sort of experiences, going to concerts and doing stuff with the GoPro on, you already know. Because I do want to, there's an untapped sort of potential within YouTube in terms of the GoPro content. A lot of people been sort of my bad. A lot of people have been sort of starting to realize it, especially with like people like me and, you know, other like at motorcycle vlogs with the Osmo Action Pro, with the Hero, the GoPros, and you know, the Instago 360 videos and YouTube channels. Like just having it on and just talking and doing stuff. There's a whole untapped niche on YouTube, and one of the first ones that I've actually seen was, you know, people doing Valorant but me sort of content. There's a guy on YouTube that does Valorant, first person point of view Valorant videos, and his name is Veins, and he has seen pretty great success doing the first person point of view gaming videos. So that is something I am looking to do in the future, of course, with different games and different mediums, different sort of things to do, not just copying other creators. That doesn't always work, but yeah. So obviously big plans on that side. Like I said before, this channel's going nowhere. I simply want to make this channel a lot better and do something that you guys like to see me do. I'm obviously still a pleb at YouTube and learning how things go, learning how the algorithm is, but you know, I've been experimenting with the shorts. It's been going pretty alright, I'm not gonna lie, you know. One of my shorts did 23,000 views. That was very exciting. So I kind of get that you to a certain extent have to be relatable on YouTube. People have to kind of like what you're saying, and that's obvious, but you know, I am keeping that in the back of my mind anytime I'm making any sort of video or short. And yeah, like, I don't know, I kind of just had my GoPro, it was charged, so I was like, why not record and make something? Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Let me just talk about how my life is going. But other than that, I haven't really been doing anything too crazy. Like I said, I canceled my membership. Haven't been gaming that much. Just been going to the gym, putting out videos on a more consistent basis. I guess I don't want to do a little bit better with the shorts. What else? In terms of gaming, yeah, we just had the GTA 6. And I love GTA 6. I love just sort of theorizing about how the game is gonna be, how things are gonna look, because I don't think anybody will disagree with me when I say that's probably one of the, if not the most anticipated game of all time. And the trailer just came out. If you haven't seen the trailer, I don't know what you're doing. Go watch that trailer. It's crazy. Of course, that comes with the news that we're getting delayed by a year. But I don't know. Something I was thinking of is, gaming companies will always say something, but, a year is a long time, but it's also not. But what if that's just like a safety sort of net, a safety sort of range so they could fix things? Maybe it's not going to need a year. Maybe they're just saying a year, so, of course it's Rockstar. They have a lot of resources at their hand, so they could pretty much do whatever. But, marketing geniuses know what they're doing. It is definitely a marketing genius plan to sort of delay the game. People are at the lowest when it comes to the morale of the game and how people think it's going to turn out. And then boom, you drop trailer 2. We've been waiting for something, news, for months now, almost a year. I think probably more than a year, maybe. Some YouTubers were saying. So yeah, everybody is back on. I've seen people say they don't even care if it's going to take another year now for the game to drop. They're just glad that they got news. So overall morale is back, especially in times like this. If you haven't seen my, like why video games and gaming right now sucks video, I'm gonna put that on the card right now on the top of the screen. Go watch that video. I need to do better with articulating my words and my concepts, but I think there's a little bit of truth in those videos on why I'm just not overall excited. And games like GTA will essentially not bring the industry back to life, but redefine and set a standard for what games should be going to look like, or games should look like, I should say, in the future. Because more battle royales, more extraction shooters, Bungie and Ubisoft saying they're trying to have an extraction shooter and shit. Like, video games are just so bleak right now. No new ideas are sort of being done right now. Everybody just wants extraction shooter, hero shooter, battle pass. That's it. Game dies in a year. Spectre divide, etc. And this can't be the standard going forward. Like, there has to be a shift. Of course, we're living in a very political time of tariffs and ongoing trade wars and just wars in general. If you've seen anything in the media. So, video gaming isn't the most important thing right now, but it's still an essential part of most privileged people's lives, especially if you live in the USA and can afford to buy a game every once in a while. So, if this industry wants to survive, it's gonna have to do something. On the topic of video games, I feel like something that a lot of people have wanted for a long time is sort of almost like metaverse experience when it comes to games like Destiny. Like, Bungie's making Marathon, and it's like, okay, another extraction shooter, same song that we've been singing for like the past couple years. And it's like, why are we getting that? Why can't you just make like another Destiny, or just make Destiny better, Destiny 2 better? And I don't know, of course, that's as me, not a game developer, not a company owner, just a regular person, just yapping and talking bullshit about gaming companies, but you know, I would want a sort of like what Destiny could have been for a lot of people is, okay, you're flying to every planet. Why can't we simply fly there manually when we're in our like vehicles? Why is there some sort of in-game economy in which we could like trade weapon skins? And when it comes to raids, why is it that everybody could complete the raid, you know? It's kind of like, this is gonna be a weird relation, but it's kind of like the problem with like NFTs. The idea that NFTs cost so much and there's multiple pieces, there's an economy for things, especially when it comes to like gaming NFTs. If you know anything about NFTs, it's really weird because if you're gonna make, let's say we turn Destiny 2 into a video game, right? We're gonna make Destiny 2 into a video game. Why is it that, like, let's say the best players in the world complete a really hard raid and they get like an NFT that's like a super rare sort of sword, a golden flaming sword. Let's call it just a golden flaming sword. If that was turned into an NFT and only like 100 players in the world could have it, there's an entire economy floating around like just these NFTs that are being made by the developers, and of course there's a monetary thing. Like, that's fun. In Destiny, it seems like, you know, these ideas in terms of getting these super rare collectibles, these hard, like this lore and these very hard like weapons to find and how we find them, the storytelling, it all has potential. There's so many aspects of sort of these treasure hunt like MMORPGs that can, you know, be made in the future, especially as technology gets a lot more. And like I said before, you know, like this is a weird relation, but I do think that decentralization and owning property within video games and owning it within a USB drive, stuff like that is the future. Like, digital currency, I definitely think is the future. The only way that NFTs and all this crypto BS will be successful is if regulation comes around. And we all know by the time regulation comes around, let's say Bitcoin does get adopted and recognized as an actual or the main currency within the United States, like it'll be extremely expensive, which is a lot of people's bet. By the time regulation comes around, it'll be very expensive, and then, you know, only the richest people in the world own Bitcoin. That is a very likely scenario. Again, I don't know that much about Bitcoin. I've done crypto stuff before. I'm not a millionaire. I haven't made over $10,000 in it, but I've dabbled in it a bit. And the technology can be there, it can be developed, but it's not going to take developers of it's not going to take ex-developers of Riot Games or Bungie to do it. It's going to take people who have actual resources in the actual drive, especially inside of the government, to make these things happen. And with games like GTA and you know, Valorant and any game in which you can own property in terms of assets, basically digital assets, and it's just spending real money to get other sort of digital assets in games like skins and cars and weapons, etc. I do think there is from a technological standpoint, a way in which the future in terms of gaming will revolve around intellectual property and sort of games in terms of in-game assets and other things of that nature. So yeah, gaming is, that's why I say GTA 6 is gonna be a very integral game, not only because of just the gaming industry and what it means for gaming in general, but just the overall sentiment of its new technologies. And, you know, there's been speculation, probably very like just false and untrue speculation, that there's gonna be some sort of crypto asset or crypto integration, which is probably not going to be true. But what if they do it? You know, it could be the first game that can, I mean, we're all seeing, if you know about crypto, let's talk about Axie Infinity. So Axie Infinity was like a game in sort of during early, I don't remember, it was around 2020, basically during the pandemic, in which there was, you know, there's this game, and basically like Pokemon, you collect these cute characters and you fight them, and it was an NFT game. So you use real money, you invest. So the early investors got all of these collectible characters, whether they're, you know, like the rares or the ultra rare ones, and they got them in pretty early. And eventually the game became big and the economy was big. Of course, crypto was doing well at the time. It was the bull run. And a lot of these NFTs, these axes, were selling on the market, on OpenSea, which is the open market for NFTs. They were selling for thousands of dollars, sometimes even tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands for really expensive and powerful assets. Like, the more powerful your asset, the more usable, the more money it'll generate, and the more expensive it'll be in terms of like real world currency. And you know, these axes were selling for ridiculous amounts of money. There was an entire economy inside of the Philippines that depended on sort of these in-game assets, and people weren't even going to work anymore. They were just playing Axie Infinity. They'll take out a loan, get some characters, and make $200 a day. And it replaced people's jobs for a long time. But if you know anything about crypto, everything good eventually comes to an end. The game crashed, and I think it got hacked or some shit. The game crashed, and eventually crypto came crashing down with it. Not crashing down, but eventually the crypto market, in terms of Bitcoin, the price is of course very volatile. It goes up and down, depends on market conditions, etc. And all that to say, the game didn't survive as long. And, you know, of course, there was a price to, I think there was these coins that were giving out, Axie coins. And yeah, all I had to say, I don't want to explain it all because it's very, like, you know, I could talk about this shit for days, but it crashed and not everything went according to the developer's plan. Today the game still exists. Obviously not as successful as it was when it was first conceived in those first couple of months during the pandemic, but you know, the game didn't do as good. But there's cases like that in which a game changes an entire landscape to the point where it changed the entire landscape and economy of an entire company, not company, but an entire economy. And that economy was the Philippines. Like, imagine people playing video games instead of going to work. We're not talking about like esports and streamers. Like, we're talking about actual pay to win, or pay to survive, I guess. Pay to earn sort of mechanics within the game. And just imagine if something like this was true inside of Destiny. Like, you go to Destiny, you play the game, you're a top 100% hunter or warlock, top 1% hunter or warlock, then you go sort of on these dungeons. Only 100 people could sort of complete the dungeon, so you got to be fast. You complete it in the first 24 hours. You get a rare flaming sword NFT, like I said the last time. You sell it for $10,000. Like, stuff like that can exist. I think stuff like that will make the gaming industry a lot more fun. Of course, not everybody can reap benefits, but there is a very sort of fun aspect to play to earn within video games that I feel like eventually will happen, especially with the advent of technology and AI and making digital ownership of assets something that's more normalized in the world. So yeah, there's all these things happening in terms of tech and video games. That's a lot. If you like, you know, me talking about that, let me know. If you even have any other like topics in terms of gaming and tech that you want me to cover, but I'm just, you know, stocking, organizing, putting up stuff, you guys just let me know, because I do like rambling about shit like this. I don't really have much people to talk about stuff, but this is the future. I kind of am a futurist. I like talking about and thinking about things that have to do with the future, because, you know, it's happening right in front of us. We're seeing in real time all of these things happening. We're seeing NFTs, we're seeing crypto, we're seeing virtual reality and holograms and all of that. Like, they always introduce it to you on a Netflix TV show before they start to roll it out. Back 2 years ago, they were saying holograms aren't the thing. Now we have, you know, like these drone hologram shows happening all over the world. Now we have that huge dome that has, you know, those projections playing on it. Like, all of these things are happening in real time. So I like talking about things that have to pertain to the future, because the future is now. That's what people, a lot of people fail to recognize. Like, the future is happening right now, right in front of us. So it's important to be aware of these things, even if you have no sort of stake in it. Even if you're just a regular person like me working at a job, like, there's always opportunities that will come around and always ways to get ahead, or just things to be interested in and just, you know, sort of excited about. Personally, me, very excited for GTA 6, very excited for, you know, the new Switch, even though it's very expensive. Very excited for tech in general. I don't think I would like to be a part of the collective of people that are using VR headsets and on some Ready Player One type shit, but I am interested to see where it goes. I am interested to see if it's gonna be something that is gonna be widely sort of done by a lot of people. Hopefully we don't get to no Ready Player One sort of level society, but I do think that we will, with the, especially, so all right, so let's talk about Apple. This is another thing. So Apple just, you know, basically came out and said, or through leaks, said that they're gonna have a more affordable version of the Apple Vision Pro, and it's gonna be cheaper. So it's like, now we're gonna have like Apple Vision Pro, and they're gonna make a deal with Pokemon and make it so that you can actually see Pokemon and you have your Apple Vision Pro headsets on outside and shit. Or other companies are gonna make it. They're gonna put it on the App Store. Pokemon Go VR, AR. Probably AR, because, you know, AR is just laying down another sort of reality and another sort of set of visuals onto the existing reality. And AR is pretty much already a thing right now. It just isn't widely used, but it is possible to have right now. We already have Ray-Ban Metas, which are a hit for a lot of content creators and people doing certain things with content creation. And the Ray-Ban Metas are a hit. A lot of people are using it. So is Apple about to strike a deal with Pokemon Go and make it so you can, you know, capture Pokemon outside, fight with people outside when it's just AR? Augmented reality is gotta be easier to sort of develop than, you know, virtual reality. You're just layering on another sort of reality on top of another. So we're about to see that. That's what I'm saying. It's good to be in the know about these things, because one day it's just gonna pop up and you're gonna wonder where you've been at as all this stuff was getting developed and manufactured, and it's all happening right now in front of your face. You know, these things are pretty much already in existence, and, you know, these industries, these tech industries and these companies like to make it seem like these things aren't happening behind the scenes, but, you know, it's just like GTA 6. Like, I heard today, there's this guy, shout out Cyberboy on YouTube, who makes GTA 6 videos. He said that, you know, GTA 6 was already a thought. Or was it some ordinary gamers? I think it was some ordinary gamers. I can't say that word. But yeah, he said that GTA 6 was already a thought. By the time GTA 5 came out, they were already developing it, which is crazy, because that would mean that the game has been in development for many years now. Sure, don't ever think that things aren't getting developed, because they are. Like, these things are well in existence, but, you know, everything has a timetable. There's always a plan. So yeah, that's my thoughts on like tech, and of course Apple's coming out with the Apple 17, the iPhone 17, and new AirPods and whatnot, Mac OS, all of that stuff. Not stuff I'm really necessarily interested in. You know, I love iPhones and Apple products, but there's not a lot of stuff there for me necessarily. And you know, other than that, I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting better with YouTube, experimenting on how to do better thumbnails and other stuff of that nature, other stuff of the sorts. But I really do like talking to you guys and just talking about different things. If you have any and all suggestions, just let me know. I've seen a lot of people was rocking with the retail stocking. Here's how to lock in sort of video. So I appreciate the love y'all showed on that video. It got over 2,000 views, which is for me great for a video. It's been a long time since I've done that on a video. And yeah, that was just me rambling about shit. If y'all like, I'm gonna name this like yapping and stalking, something like that. But if y'all like this sort of content, you guys just let me know. I'm gonna be just making videos, pumping them out, not without intention, but just seeing what sticks, seeing what works, while still holding on to my sort of same character, same sort of style of YouTube videos. Not so much on the production side yet until we find out what really works, but more on like the giving value and just topics and saying shit sort of aspect of video making and storytelling. So if y'all like, again, just me talking about stuff while I'm at work, while I'm stocking, getting money, you guys let me know. Of course, like always, hope you guys are doing good wherever you are in the world. If I can make your day just a little bit better with stocking or yapping about random shit, that's all I need. All things will happen in time. It is your boy Wesley, also known as DRXCO, and I will see you in the next one. Well, 3 flips on the blade. Peace.